our eyes to China now, where new plans to restrict the online gaming industry has been announced. It sent shares in tech giants to tumble. Tencent dropped by over 16% in Hong Kong, while rival NetEase was down at more than 25%. For more on this, I'm joined now by Daniel Camilo, who's a gaming specialist living and working in Shenzhen. Thank you very much for joining us. Now, can you tell us a bit about why gaming is an issue in China, where there appears to be pressure to introduce these laws to tackle the kind of growing addiction almost to the industry?
Well, it's basically just the government perception that they've been establishing these rules now for a while. Earlier this year, last year as well, there were regulations to try to diminish the gaming time for minors in particular. It's not like there's more of an addiction here than anywhere else in the world. It's just that most of the gaming market in China is mobile, and a big percentage of that is, well, it's young folks, it's minors. And the government is trying to restrict that to make it, to make people more, I guess, more productive. But this is not very different from what we've seen before. And even though we had an effect on the shares, it happened as well before, they will bounce back. So things will just kind of stabilize again after a while. It's just that initial shock every time there's news like this.
I was going to ask how companies are going to navigate these new restrictions.
Well, most of these games, again, mobile games, free-to-play games, they use their monetization models. They're affected by these regulations. I mean, this is a big topic. I'm not going to go into detail, but they're affected by this. So all these developers, all these publishers, they have to kind of rework some of the elements of their games. And that's essentially why we see this effect on the stock value of these companies, because operations on games will have to be halted, not halted, but they will have to be they will have to adjust, and that will cause an impact on users, on the daily revenue. But again, this will bounce back, everything will be stabilized, and in a few months, the effect will be almost not perceivable, I think.
So you think the industry will continue to grow despite this?
Yes, just recently there was a big report from the Game Association here in China. That's not the name of it, but that's kind of the entity, where they reported there has been growth in the last year on almost every segment, on mobile, console, PC in China. And yeah, it continues to grow. I mean, the penetration of gaming in China continues to evolve. I think we're just at the start. It will grow drastically, I think, in the next decade or so. Yeah.
Okay, Daniel, thank you very much for joining us. Daniel Camilo, who's